My name is Adam Aquino, and I'm the owner and technician here at AA Motorworks. This is a video, I guess, in the background of me. So, first question, what do you want, pup? What do you want? What do you want? Looking cute? What are you doing? What are you doing? What, are you hungry? You want food? Or you want to be in the video? All right. First question for me. What is your professional mechanical background? I guess you could say my first job as a professional mechanic or technician was I started off after dropping out of my first year at Sacramento State University. I joined the Air Force, and I joined as an avionics technician. I did that for 4 years active duty, and the rest I did as a reservist, so a total of 12 years. I learned a lot, been deployed, been to the sandbox. You know, it's the best thing I ever thought I'd do for my life. Thought I'd be a civil engineer just like my dad, and it'd be all easy and, you know, piece of cake. And my interests were elsewhere. I wanted to either wrench on cars or just do something cool. I wanted to hit the ground running, so I joined the Air Force. After that, while I was a reservist, I worked for a few different shops. One of the best shops that I worked for, and one of the best learning experiences was working for a gentleman named Paul DeBecker, who owns FW Motorsports in Rockland, California. And I learned a lot from the guy. We kicked ass working on Subies. I learned how to tune using his dyno. Self-taught. I don't do it. I don't advertise that I tune. Maybe down the road I will get into that. That's a whole nother subject. But yeah, I learned a lot. Took a few formal classes at Sierra College in Rockland, and some night classes using my GI Bill. Took some engine building classes, took some suspension, brake classes, just kind of learned some fundamentals. Since most of my interest came from just reading magazines as a kid, you know, Sport Compact Car, Turbo Magazine, Import Tuner, you know, even truck magazines, four-wheel magazines. I was interested in a little bit of everything. Yeah, I mean, from there I worked for a few different shops. Worked for Audi VW shop, worked for a BMW shop. So I got to learn a little bit of all makes and models, tinkering around my own stuff. I never worked for a diesel shop, but I did taught myself and asked a ton of questions about diesels and learned how to work on my own truck. So that's where a lot of my knowledge came from. There's a lot of research, a lot of time invested. Self-study. If I can give my best piece of advice to anyone that's really interested in becoming a technician or owning their own shop or just getting in the industry, is you gotta want it. You can't just think that reading on the forums you're the know-it-all. You have to put that into into motion. You can't just say you know everything, because no one's going to take you seriously. You have to show what you can do. That's what I try to do every day. That's the only way I feel you gain credibility. And that's my best piece of advice. I kind of went off on a tangent there, but that's a little bit about my mechanical background. What got you into the Subaru scene? I wanted to get an STI, Subaru WRX STI, when they first came out in '04, right before I left for basic training. It really caught my eye. A buddy's dad bought a '03 Evo I was intrigued by that car, but I always had more of an interest in Subaru. I liked the higher quality, and that can be argued, of the car, and I just liked the Boxer style engine and all that good stuff. And it went from there. I told my recruiter that I would get a STI when I got back from basic training and all my follow-on training, and he kind of laughed at me and said, "Oh, you got to make the big bucks to get that." And I got back and I was stationed at Travis Air Force Base after all my training, and I bought myself an Integra because I sold my Civic that I had. It had a B16 swap, upgraded cams. I used to street race the hell out of that thing when I was in high school like a dumbass. And I bought an Integra. Bought it with a bad motor. Didn't even know that it was a bad motor. Thing burned like a quart of oil every freaking 100 miles. After that, I rebuilt the motor. Had the car for maybe 6 months. Did a bunch of mods to it, and crashed it on the highway. Totaled it. I started the car hunt. I looked at possibly like fully restoring an Integra and doing like a turbo setup and just taking a big loan out and just doing something stupid to it. And then I came across the STI. I responded to the ad, didn't get a call or anything back, email, couldn't get a hold of the guy, and that was on Craigslist, and this was back in 2005. The car was about a year old. So I started looking around. I saw some Evos. I called around for some modded WRXs that were like 02, 03s. And then I saw the car pop back up on Auto Trader. And miraculously, the guy picked up his phone, and I checked it out, put a deposit, went back, got a loan, picked it up. And that's what started me in the game. Started going to meets, started modding the hell out of it, even though I told myself I wouldn't really do anything to it since it was already a fast car. And before you know it, upgraded turbos, popped the motor, racing it at the drag strip and and going on road courses and stuff, Thunder Hill. That's pretty much how I got in the game. I did a lot of cool mods to it. I did a lot of kind of one-off stuff and rare parts, and just put my own style into the car and my own, what I envisioned the STI of my dreams would be. And it got a lot of recognition. I won a lot of local annual car meets, and just got a lot of recognition from people, and they really like my work. And the rest is history. Here I am today, still having that reputation of having a really cool car. It's been heartless for a while because I've been concentrating on my truck. But it is still my possession, and it's one of those things you never get rid of. It's my claim to fame. So next question, tell us more about your 10-second truck. Well, it wasn't always a 10-second truck. It is an 07 Dodge Ram 2500 Cummins, 6.7 liter. It was originally my tow truck. I would just tow around the race car to events and tow customers' vehicles around. I just wanted a diesel truck. I had a few friends that had some pumped up ones and really got my interest. A couple years into owning the STI. It has evolved into a very cool truck that kind of gets the same recognition that the STI got back in her prime. Now, the truck is as it sits, it's 950 horsepower to the wheels, 1,300 foot-pound truck, diesel truck, and it's on a whole nother level as far as what I ever imagined it would be. The truck has humongous fuel injectors. I mean, it's kind of not humongous. They're big fuel injectors over the stock size injectors. It's got an 80 millimeter turbo. It's got upgraded valve train. It's got twin injection pumps. It's got a full billet 4-speed transmission that I converted from the 6-speed automatic that was originally in there. It's got a ton of suspension mods, QA1s, coilovers. I run Hoosier slicks with Bogart racing wheels on the track. I got American Force 22s for the street. It's got a 6-point chromoly roll cage. It's got an array of gauges to make sure things are, things are well, and I can monitor all the vitals. Her name is Betty Blue. Don't ask me how I got that name. It just kind of came about with some friends. We kind of just were toying around with some names to call her. It sports, I try to lighten it up as much as possible. It runs, last season ran consistent 1050s, and then I cracked a 1047 on one pass. But it started off just being a regular truck. Not every day you see a Filipino guy driving around a pumped up diesel truck, but I'm proud of what the truck is, and I'm proud to have met the people and made the friends that I have with the diesel scene. I have plans for a new motor this year, since the original motor that's never been out of the truck has a little bit of crank walk. So I decided to just take the initiative to do it right and just do a complete built motor. It's going to have an 88mm turbo, ported head, sleeve, upgraded rods, pistons. It should be around 1,300 horsepower to the wheels. All said and done, injectors are going to get reworked. I'm going to go through the transmission again. Should be going for 9s. It's a pipe dream right now, but on paper it sounds good. So that is a little bit about Betty Blue. Cruise my Instagram. There's a ton of pictures and videos of me racing her. It's a blast to drive. I could still, drive her on a road trip, still get 18, 19 miles to the gallon. It's a pretty reliable truck, still has AC, has a Navi unit, two 10-inch subwoofers in the back, 1,400 watts worth of sound system in there. It's still a real comfy truck. It's got race seats, but they're pretty comfortable. That's a little bit about Betty. Do you ever plan to do time attacks again, or just drag your truck? Hopefully both. I really want to see about getting my wife behind the wheel of my time attack car. She is a gnarly driver, and she scares the crap out of me whenever I sit passenger. She would probably drive the wheels off this car, and I think it'd be pretty cool. So yeah, between her and I, flip-flopping on the car, I plan to get this car back on track. I plan on making a big move to Idaho to relocate, cut some costs, and just maybe find a better quality of life out there. Still gonna be doing what I'm doing. So yeah, there's a couple tracks up there that I can mosey on over to, and I plan on dragging the truck too. I plan on still street driving the truck as well. A ton of parts just sitting around that I need to get the car to the point where I'm comfortable financially to dump a bunch of time and effort and money into the car. It needs the cage to be finished. I have a carbon roof for it. I got a new set of cylinder heads for it with cams. I want to do fire suppression. So yeah, it's gonna be some next level shit once it is back and running. I don't want to just put it back together, and I want to put it back together the way it should be and give it justice for what it is. And one thing I do want to make a point of with the car is to at least it's a bucket list thing is to go to Pikes Peak. I want to do the hill climb. I want to try Pikes Peak just to have that under my belt. That's a little bit about my racing future. So just wrapping up this little background interview about me. You could feel free to contact me for any business needs. If you need a motor built, I'm only a pallet away. You want to slap that thing on a pallet and have me build a motor, I'm happy to do it here at my California location, or when I'm up in Idaho. I will definitely have the means to do it up there. Yeah, if you want any fabrication done, little things here and there, or just want to bounce some ideas off me, yeah, feel free to give me a holler. And you can always ask in the comment section as well. Have a good day.